So, luksao. So we're moving into rolling arms. Now, something I like to teach before you actually start luksao is the rolling ball exercise. Now, the rolling ball exercise essentially is like you're using two bong saos as opposed to the standard, okay, one arm is tan bong and one is fuk, which is what you'll be doing more so later in your training. I get you most people to start off with both sides on bong sao. Now the reason for that is because it's very easy to get the idea of the ball rolling. Now a real simple concept to think about for your luk sao and your chi sao is what a ball is like when it rolls, for example, in water. So like this ball here, you know, if this ball was on top of water, right? So if Noah puts his hands out, and then both hands, please. And like, you can imagine Noah's hands is just like water, right? And, okay, so just keep it still for a moment, yeah? You're spinning it, he starts playing with it. All right, so imagine this is just resting on water. And then as I push the ball into the water, it'll spin, right? It'll sink in a little bit and it'll spin, and it'll spin, right? So that's the nature of a ball in water. Now, if you can think about that concept, right? And Noah puts his, like a double bong sao shapes, you can think, tan and a bong sao, and you see there's a circle here, right? And then Noah's body is the water, so gravity is working in this direction. Then as I press on that circle, it'll spin the ball. The buoyancy of the water is Noah's center, nice and tall. He's sinking and relaxing, so he's not tense, and is aiming and targeting through the center to my center. So that creates the buoyancy. Centered, sensing, sinking, targeting, right? And then as I press on that ball, the ball just spins. So the rolling ball exercise, let's just look at the shapes first and foremost. You start from tan sao, one hand, bong sao, the other hand. And if you want to, you can also connect the fingers to give you that kind of circular shape. Then from here, you just roll from tan to bong with each side, keeping, so maybe you face forward and do it, it's better, and I'll face the side. Keeping the fingers connected, the distance from your body the same as you roll from tan to bong. Now, keep going with that for a minute. Here you should feel a sense of roundness, yeah? So if you look at the way I hold my arm, it's like a roundness to my arm as opposed to a squareness. Yeah? You don't want to feel square. You want a sense of roundness, and you accentuate that through practice. The more you practice, the more you cultivate a sense of roundness, and it actually will even feel and look more round. Look and feel more round as opposed to square style shapes, right? Which you often see in beginners. They get clunky, right? So you want to keep a nice roundness in this rolling ball exercise. So the way we start to practice this now, facing me, is that with your partner, Noah just wants to allow my incoming pressure to spin the ball. So you understand the shapes now and how it rolls, but Noah's not forcing the roll. He is allowing my pressure to spin the ball. So as the training partner putting pressure, I put pressure from the forearms towards his center. Make sure your stance is on, knees softly bent, spine tall. Yeah, I put pressure towards his center, which spins the shape. Maintain centering, feel your arms, aim the hands forward to me. Yeah, good. Then as I put pressure, the shape spins. So if I do it slowly, the ball should move slowly. Because Noah is just centering, sensing, aiming, setting up those shapes. And then as I put pressure, it spins. So stage one of this exercise is just getting used to that feeling of spinningness. Noah wants to stay centered, sense his whole body. Centered, sense, centered, sense. Always feel your whole body. Otherwise, your structure is not aligned. So you always sense your whole body until it becomes a natural set point, yeah? You don't want to be off daydreaming and thinking about, women and beer. You want to be centering and sensing. Is that what you're thinking about, women and beer? Good. So you get a sensation of rolling arms. We call this the rolling ball exercise. Alrighty, Carlson, I'll borrow you. Can you put some pressure? Alrighty, Carlson's back. You guys remember Carlson? Hey. Alright, so if you can go over here, sir. And then if you guys can, yeah. And you put the pressure on Noah. Yeah, so rolling ball exercise, yeah? And so you're putting pressure on his rolling ball, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, so and he's letting it spin according to your pressure. Just keep putting on. Yeah. So as the partner, he'll be kind of guiding the movement. So as the training partner putting pressure, you're kind of guiding the ball. So you're helping them to feel that roll and spin. It's not a competition, it's skill development, right? So you're helping your training partner. Yeah, and then spin. And then what should happen is that once you get a good feeling for it, is your training partner can start to increase the actual speed that they do it. So they can push a little faster, and that should spin the ball faster. Yeah. So you push a little faster, and you spin the ball faster for them. Yeah. So you can start off slow, so they can maintain that structural connection, maintain focus forward, maintain the space for themselves. If you're feeling, so take a break for a second. If you're feeling that as your partner pushes on your shapes, that you're collapsing too easily, that means you're not sensing from the center through the arms. That just means that you have a lack of awareness in your structure, a lack of sensing. So no one wants to center and sense. That's the first part of why it will collapse. So he was doing pretty well at first. The second reason why it would collapse is if you're not unifying it through a common target, meaning as Noah senses his whole space, he aims it.
Bless you. Bless you.
Thank you. He aims it all into the center. That aimingness will prevent, so the aiming combined with the centering and sensing will prevent this structure from collapsing easily. So, coming back to it, both sides, rolling ball. So starting off slowly with your partner, getting a good slow feeling with it, and then just speeding it up. Yeah, so start to speed it up so they get a feeling of that ball rolling. Good, now switch. Your Carlson to go. So rolling ball, bong to tan. Start off slow. Partner putting pressure towards their center, remember, because that's what makes it spin. If the pressure is going elsewhere, they'd ignore it. Carlson's centering and sensing to make sure that those shapes just spin. And then you can start to speed up the spinningness in the ball, yeah? And Carlson's just letting Noah's pressure spin the shapes. You shouldn't feel like you're forcing the shapes. You should feel like you're just allowing the training part to spin it for you. Think about the ball in water concept, right? The ball in water doesn't think to spin, it just remains being a ball. The way it remains being a ball is just by being a ball. So how does Carlson do that? He centers, he senses. As he senses and senses, he activates those circular structures in his shoulders. As the pressure comes on towards him, it lets those shapes naturally spin. Okay, hold it there. Alrighty, so that's the basics of the rolling ball exercise. Once again, any questions, chuck them in the community. I'm sure one of these two guys will answer the questions for you. I do my best to get in there, but sometimes it's difficult running the full-time academy and everything else that's going on. So, once again, chuck any questions in the community, and I look forward to seeing you on our next session.